welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige and this is my open book. It's been a while. We have a lot to catch up on. Yes, I dyed my hair. I'm a redhead now. If you watch my previous videos, you know that I recently went on a work trip. I was gone for like over 2 weeks, and that's why my upload schedule got a little bit off kilter. I'm gonna upload some extra videos between now and the end of the month just to kind of catch up so you guys don't feel left out. This is supposed to be my weekly wrap-up replacement. This has been such a weird reading month for me, I have to say. I feel like for a multitude of reasons. One, because I was traveling. Two, I think that I'm in a slump right now. And I feel like I haven't really been in like the Christmassy, wintry mood, which is like totally throwing me off because it's kind of like all the stuff I picked for my TBR has to do with like Christmas and winter. So grab a drink and grab a snack and let's get into my weird month of reading so far. So to catch up on what you've missed, the first book I read this month was He's Not My Type by Megan Quinn. This came out at the end of November and I was super hyped for it. I love a good hockey romance and I love me some Megan Quinn. This series has been very hit or miss for me, but I was super looking forward to this character in particular. His name is Halsey, and he gets teased in the other books as like the loner who just like sits in the corner and reads. He's also a twin, but he recently lost his twin brother. So we love a tortured hero, right? Like I was so excited and I knew that this was gonna be like, he's been pining after this one girl for pretty much like 2 of the other books. So I knew it was gonna have some good angst and some good tension, so I was really looking forward to this one. And I hate to say it, but this one kind of disappointed me a little bit. I'm pretty sure I still gave it 3 stars because Megan Quinn's writing is great and I still loved these characters, don't get me wrong. Like Halsey is definitely my favorite of the series in terms of characterization. I just love his backstory. I love his personality. I love the like how mature he is in the relationship that he has with, I already forgot her name. I feel like that should tell you how I felt. No. This one was really hard for me because while I love the other side characters, like the antics they get up to and how funny it is, like it was a little bit over the top for me in this book. Like I think that made it more immature than it should have been because Halsey is so mature. I feel like it had potential there, but I feel like because she was trying to balance that with humor, I think she just took it a little bit too far into the humor for my personal taste. Took away from Halsey as a person because it felt like most of what was happening was because of his friends and the other characters and not so much him, if that makes sense. So that kind of took it away from me. And then I think that Megan Quinn also, unfortunately in this one, took the dirty talk a little bit too far as well. Now you guys know normally I love dirty talk and I love the like how it's like the unexpected quiet hero ends up being like dominant in the bedroom. Like I'm not saying that's a bad thing, okay? But I just don't think it was done well in this book. I think that unfortunately the steamy, spicy scenes were too far from his personality. Like it felt like 2 different people. I didn't understand how the Halsey that I knew connected to this guy in the bedroom. Like it just felt very abrupt to me and I feel like it didn't really like show his character development very well, if I'm being honest. And I think their relationship development as well, from like them being friends and not admitting their feelings for each other, that all of a sudden they were like sleeping together. I feel like they didn't really get to like talk about it. And then even when they finally slept together, they still just like kept sleeping together and it was like sex scene after sex scene after sex scene and they never really talked about it, and that just rubbed me the wrong way for some reason. I don't know, it wasn't my favorite. I was a little disappointed. Like it wasn't bad. I think I just hyped Halsey up so much in my head and I was like so looking forward to his story, and I think it's my fault. I'm definitely in the minority here because if you look at the reviews for this book, everyone loves it. Everyone's obsessed. Everyone's like, oh my god, Halsey's the best. Like, and the way he is in the bedroom is just so great. You know, so I think I'm definitely the minority. I think it was maybe the way I pictured Halsey in my head was wrong. Because, I mean, it's Megan Quinn's character. She can do whatever she wants, right? I think it was just like my version of Halsey didn't match her version of Halsey, if that makes sense. So that's been a letdown. I think that's kind of what contributed to my reading slump, if I'm being honest, because I was just so disappointed after reading that. Yeah, I feel like I got gypped. I I do kind of wish that I would have saved for the audio book because Audible did have a really big sale also at the beginning of this month. And I'm not usually an audiobook girl, but I really wanted to try certain audiobooks and this one was on sale. So I got it. And I am listening to the audio like little bits here and there, and the audio is really good. So maybe I'll like it better after I finish the audiobook. I'll report back. But I think what also contributed to my reading slump is I could not decide what to read next after that. Like I was like jumping between so many things, especially because of the audiobook sale. I downloaded a bunch of books. Most of them were rereads. I think I only downloaded one book that was new, but I wanted to like sample them to see like which one I wanted to read because I couldn't decide. So I was like reading a chapter in this one and then reading a chapter in this one, and I just jumped between like 6 books on audio. Couldn't decide which one because I liked them all. So then I was having the same trouble trying to find an ebook to read. I read a couple like holiday novellas just because I was trying to like get something that I could finish. But they were both kind of disappointing for me. I'll put them in here really quick. I think this first one is by Lee. I need to figure out how to say this last name. But this is part of the Holiday Nights novella series that this author has where like every holiday they put out a different one. So this is the Thanksgiving one. And there was like one spicy scene in here that was really hot. That was about it. The rest of it was kind of a throwaway for me. It was supposed to be like a childhood crush, but then they became step siblings because their parents got together, so then they couldn't really pursue a relationship. So it was like a mutual pining, forbidden situation, and now they're older and their parents are getting divorced, so they feel like they can finally like, you know, be honest about their feelings and be together physically. And they get together for like one last Thanksgiving as a family before the parents split up, and it's their romance. It was too like insta-lovey because even the flashbacks to when they like first met as teenagers, it was like insta-love, and then it was like all they talked about was like how attractive the other one was. Normally I like when characters have history together or it's like childhood friends or whatever kind of situation, but this like fell short in that department, so I feel like the rest of it was lackluster. And because it's a novella, it's short, so I feel like because that kind of left me hanging, it felt like the rest of it couldn't really be complete, you know what I mean? So it was okay. I think I gave it 2 stars maybe. Another one I tried was like a Santa one. I don't even remember. I'll put the picture up here. This was also a 2-star read. This was very meh. Like it didn't even deliver in the spice department for me. It was very predictable and boring. I hate to say it. Not my favorite. But again, this is a me problem. I was in a slump, okay? I fully recognize that. I feel like if I were to try to read these books next year, maybe I would like them. I don't know. Don't just take my word for it. I'm just telling you my experience, okay? Another reason why I feel like I was in a slump is because I am still sucked into the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and I think that's part of why nothing else is good, because nothing else can compare. Nothing else can compare. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find other things, but it's just nothing's doing it for me. So I did finish books 3 and 4 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So those are still going great. I'm still loving those. I'm obsessed. So let's talk about a high note for a little bit. The 3rd book was Lover Awakened, I believe. I don't have the physical copy anymore because I left it with my stepmom in Florida. This is about Zadist. So Zadist is one where he has a very dark and very traumatic past. So this was definitely the heaviest book of the series so far. It took me longer to read than the other ones because there was like some hard topics in here, obviously, and like his backstory is just so sad. And the female main character also goes through a lot in this book. Like she gets kidnapped, and she's like held hostage by a vampire slayer. And Zadist is like heartbroken because he, you know, I think he recognizes, like, even though he's someone who is like sworn off love because of his past, he still recognizes that there is like a special thing about Bella that he just can't like ignore. So he feels like protective of her, even though he does not want to mate. He's still very protective of her. So that's their story. There's a lot of ups and downs in here. Like, I was mad at them for a lot of the book, but then I was also like in love with them. You know how it is. I think I gave this one 4 stars. It was really good. It was really good, but it wasn't my personal favorite. Rage is still my favorite book too. He's still my favorite of the Brotherhood so far. But a close second, this one I gave 4.5 stars. This is Butch and Marissa. So you get teased about their love story pretty much from book 1. So Butch is actually a human. He's a cop. Well, he was a cop in book 1. He has gotten wrapped up into this vampire world, and he's kind of like helping them out, and he got kicked off of the force, so he's kind of like in limbo right now in his personal life. So he's like, you know, these vampires, like I feel a really close connection with them, like they're my friends and I really want to help them because, you know, they have these slayers like trying to eliminate the vampire race, and Butch feels really connected to their story, so he like wants to be there to support them. Plus he has a really close friendship with one of the brothers that we haven't gotten his book yet, Vicious. I think his might be next though. I think his is book 5. So Vicious and Butch especially have like a very special bond, and Butch is gonna stick around. He ends up falling for this female vampire, but obviously it's like a forbidden thing because, you know, he's a human, she's a vampire, they're not really supposed to be together, but they just can't stop thinking about each other. So you get all of that in the first like 2 to 3 books. Like I said, you hear about their romance like in book 1, but this is actually the book that's like dedicated to them, where they finally like get over the forbiddenness and try to make it work. The things that happen to Butch, I don't want to spoil anything because this is very plot heavy, I will say. I think that's what made this not be my favorite and not be a 5-star, because I love Butch and Marissa together. Like their romance is so great, but this book definitely focused more on plot than the romance. So I think that's why I couldn't give it a 5. If I was just basing it off of the couple, like I think Butch and Marissa might be my favorite. So, and again, I feel like I can't tell you anything because it will spoil a lot of things. But basically it goes more into like Butch as a person, like the things that he's going through. He gets captured for part of this, so you know, it's about like the Brotherhood trying to save him and figure out like what happened to him. So that's kind of part of it, and it just spirals from there. Then you have like Marissa's story with her brother. So her brother obviously doesn't want her to be with a human because how is that going to work in the long term? She's also part of the like rich society of vampires, so I feel like she also gets judged super harshly. The other special thing about Marissa, the reason why you know about her from book 1 is because she was actually picked to be the like Shellen, I think is how it's pronounced. So basically the king of the Brotherhood that you meet in book 1, Wrath, he feeds from Marissa. She's like exclusive for him. Like that's what she was bred to be, is to, you know, is to feed the king of the Brotherhood, because she comes from like the rich family line. She's like, I think one of the only like purebreds left from that family line. So her blood is seen as like sacred. But obviously, as we know from book 1, Wrath falls in love with somebody else and takes another wife. So Marissa kind of is like rejected from society, and they kind of see her as like something that must be wrong with her because Wrath didn't want to be with her. So she's kind of recovering from that, and you know, she's facing a lot of judgment from the vampire society. But then there's Butch. They're honestly so cute together. I love them to pieces, and this plot was a doozy, I will say, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. That series has still got me so gripped. It has my full attention. It's like all I can think about. You know that saying, like, it's my Roman Empire? Like, I think about this book series every day, all day, every day. So I think that also makes it hard to read other things. Maybe that's why I'm in a slump, but we're gonna power through. We're gonna still try. I'm filming this video basically the day I'm gonna upload it, which is the Saturday before Christmas. And I haven't really been able to read like any Christmas romances yet, but I've decided I'm just gonna keep powering through. We've got my book club pick for December. This is Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. So if you missed my November book club with Katie, we did a mafia romance last month, and we were supposed to do a thriller this month, but we both really wanted like something Christmassy and like wholesome for the holidays. Although I shouldn't say wholesome because it's Tessa Bailey, so we all know how dirty her books can be. But this is the book that we picked for our December book club. That's going to be going live on my channel on December 28th, which is the Thursday after Christmas at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you still have time to pick this up. And it's a pretty quick read too. Like I just started reading this last night and I was able to read like 100 pages like in one sitting. So it's a quick read, and I've got some tabs, so that's a good side. I'm enjoying it so far. This book is about two people. Their mothers used to be in a band together, but there was like this huge breakup and falling out, and they were like a world famous band, like iconic, and they just broke up, and no one knows why. No one knows like what led to it. There's like a bunch of theories, and this is like 30 years later, and one of their songs is going viral again. So there's this like TV network that's trying to get the band back together, and they're going to use their kids to do it. So they convince the kids of this band to like get together to try and convince their moms to get back together for this big like Christmas performance. So it's got the holiday vibes. It takes place in New York, which I think is also like such a cute like romance holiday setting. I feel like a lot of Hallmark movies usually take place in like small towns, but I kind of like the like Christmas in the big city setting, so I'm really liking it so far. It is told in third person, which a lot of people don't like. It's not bothering me too much though, and what I love about these two, and the reason why it's up my alley, is it's kind of like friends to lovers. Like they have history together, right? Because they grew up knowing exactly how the other person feels. Like they both have the mom that was in the band with the bad breakups. Like everyone is always like associating them with their mothers, and that's like all they ever will be, is children of these famous people, right? So they understand what it's like, and they have this like special like connection because of that, and I like it so far. We'll see. I have been seeing a lot of negative reviews for this book though, so I'm a little nervous, but so far so good. But you can see my full thoughts along with Katie's full thoughts on December 28th. We'll see how it goes. But this is gonna kickstart my Christmas TBR. So hopefully this will get me not only in the holiday spirit, but also like back in my reading groove, because I'm tired of the slump. I'm tired of it. Tired of it. Okay, let me make sure I haven't missed anything. Like I said, I've been like jumping from book to book to book and not really finishing anything, so let me make sure there wasn't anything else that I missed. I totally forgot that I started this too. I got the first book in a duet by M. Robinson for free. This is from the first verse. So I got the first book for free, so I was like, you know what, why not? Like, I was kind of in the mood for a rock star romance for some reason. Oh, I know why. I went to a concert with my friend in Florida when I was visiting for work. One of my favorite metal bands, Wage War, had their like 10-year anniversary show that we went to. So I was in a rock star mood, so I wanted to read this. I don't know how I feel about it. I gave this first one 3 stars, but it's part of a duet, so I still have to read the second book. So I guess I'll wait to give you my full thoughts. So far, like, it's alright. This is my first book by M. Robinson that I'm trying to read. It's not blowing me away, but like, it's not terrible. The fact that I finished it is a good sign, because like I said, I haven't really been able to finish much lately, so it's not bad. It's like middle of the road, 3-star kind of rating so far. So we'll see how I feel after I finish the duet. I'm like 60% into the second part right now. I'm sorry you guys, this wrap up is so bizarre. I don't even know what to tell you. Don't even know what to tell you. But hopefully you guys will join the live show on Thursday for the holiday book, and maybe we can talk about some other Christmas books that we read too. So give this video a like. Even though it was very all over the place, I appreciate your support, and I appreciate your patience with my upload schedule being weird this month, but it's just how it is around the holidays. We're just all pretending like we have our shit together when like nobody does. So leave a comment down below telling me a book that you have enjoyed recently, and be sure to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss my future videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.